Hi, I'm Roy Middleton. This is my wife, Jane.
Hi.
And I have a little story to tell about an experience of mine from years and years and years ago. I was dizzy at times and didn't feel good, was losing ambition, and just had to fight myself every day to keep going. I went to several doctors, and nobody could ever figure out what I wanted. They always wanted to poke me full of pills, but nothing ever works. So finally went to a doctor, and he discovered I had not atrial fib, but irregular heartbeat. So he gave me a couple pills for that I didn't want to take, but I did, and it did help for a while. When a few years went by though, and then it started getting worse and worse, and I was losing my power even worse than before with this, and having very bad dizzy spells and everything. Finally, I was introduced to Iowa Heart and Dr. Hoyt. I went into him the first time, and he explained a lot of things to me. The first thing he thought, well, we'll do a shock treatment and see if that would work, and it didn't. And so then he said, well, we'll try the ablation and see if that works, because that stops the atrial fib and the irregular heartbeat. But that did not work either. So that's the story of my life. Nothing seemed to work. But he didn't give up, though. He was going to keep on. He was going to get me fixed up one way or another. Dr. Hoyt told me, after the shock treatment and the ablation that didn't work, that I was at severe risk of heart failure, because I had atrial fib so bad. And what that does is speed your heart up so fast, it could cause a heart attack at any time. And I wanted something done right now. So then he called Jane and I in, and we talked about pacemaker, and he was doing a new procedure with these, so he wanted to do that. So we agreed to the fact that this would happen.
When Dr. Hoyt explained to us about the pacemaker, he explained the new procedure that he was doing with his pacing. From what I saw in those pictures, when they dropped it in the bottom of the heart, it beat from the bottom. But when they put it on the His bundle, then it looked just like the regular heart beating. Unlike a regular pacemaker, His pacing mimics a healthy heart. Experience has told me that if your heart isn't beating correctly, you could end up in heart failure, because that's basically what happened with mine.
So he put this in, and it wasn't but maybe a few days afterwards, and I could notice a big difference in myself already. And after a bit, I just started getting stronger and stronger, and went back to him, and he said I was just doing great. And now, after a few years, when I go back in for my checkups, my heart is always in rhythm. It's just as good as it ever was, I think. Maybe better, I don't know. But now I can do the things that I want to do, because I can get out and go anytime I want. And we live in the timber and out in the country. I like running the chainsaw, cutting wood, burning my garage in the wintertime, doing my gardening, walking the dog, running all over the place. And so I feel very fortunate to ever come in contact with somebody like Dr. Hoyt. And I really appreciate what he did.
Since then, we have found out that there are only about 50 doctors in the world who do His pacing. Roy and I wanted to tell his story so that not only the patients could learn about the His pacing, but the doctors can understand that they should be using the very best treatment they can, and this His pacing gives a patient a healthy heart.
I also want to let everybody know that the quality of life, in my eyes anyway, and my body, has changed drastically since I had this done. And I think anybody that suffers from this, the atrial fib, irregular heartbeat, or anything, should find the right doctor to have this done, because you'll never regret it, I'll guarantee you. The quality of life is so much better, it's just unbelievable.